Okay, fellow car buds, I'm going to show you how I built a tubing straightener out of just a bunch of common parts. You need a couple of pieces of 2.5 inch by 2.5 inch by 3/16 angle iron, about 10 inches long. You're going to need some quarter 20 bolts and nuts, about a dozen is plenty. Then these door patio door rollers from Home Depot. It's a part D1797. It comes with 2 rollers and 2 packages of hardware that you won't use. You'll have a roller left over. You're going to need 3 packages. And what I'm going to show you here is going to save you the trouble of doing all this math right here. Okay, I've got these 2 pieces of angle iron mounted in the vise here, just so you can kind of get the orientation of what we're getting ready to do. We're going to mark a couple of dimensions on those and get to drilling. Now, in order for the spacing for the rollers to come out right, we have to come out exactly 0.659 inches from the face of the back side of the angle iron on each side. So I've clamped these 2 together just to make it easier to do that. And you just set that up on a dial caliper, and we just make a couple of dings in the tape so we can see where we're at. Then we're going to turn around and do the same thing on this one, but I'm not going to bother to show you that. Well, I decided I would show you that after all. So again, we just make the marks in the tape, and we'll go to the next step. Alright, at this point I have marked our angle irons where we need to drill the holes. Again, this is the 0.659 dimension that we scribed earlier. I just drew a line through those marks I put with the calipers, and we're going to drill a hole here and here. This is the one that's got 2 rollers on it. From center, it's 1 1/8 and 1 1/8 on each side. This one is the one that has the 3 rollers, and again, it's the 659 from the edge that we marked with the calipers. You can see where I drew a line through those little marks I made. And we have 3 rollers here. So there's one in the center, then there's another one 2 1/4 inches this way and 2 1/4 inches this way. Now I'll assume if you're watching this, you know how to drill holes in accurate holes in sheet metal or angle iron, so I'm not going to go into that. Okay, the holes are drilled and I've installed the rollers. I'm not going to go into how I did that. They're just simply quarter 20 bolts with a nut on each side. So this is our angle iron that has the 2 rollers. And this is the angle that has the 3 rollers. Pretty simple. Alright, now we're ready to assemble our rollers. You'll notice I've drilled 2 holes that hold the halves together like this. When you mark those holes, you want to make sure that top right there is level. Make sure it's not tilted. They got to be pretty close. I just clamped it and then drilled the holes through the sides. Now this setup can work for 3/16 or 1/4 inch tubing. The shim stack I've got here is for the 3/16. These fender washers, again from Home Depot, they're pretty consistent at about 60 thousandths a piece. Then I found some shim stock laying around here, some brass, it's 15, and also some aluminum, it's 30. It seems like that 15 thousandth increments is plenty good enough for what we're doing here. So to make the stack for 3/16 line, it's going to take 2 60s and 1 15 thousandths in between these 2 panels. So I'm going to bolt that together. It's real simple. You just bolt 60 thousandths, 15 thousandths, another 60, and then we'll bolt that together, and we'll be ready to go. I won't bore you with that, so I'll put it together and be right back. Okay, we're just finishing up here. I'm going to tighten up the bolts where we had our shims. You can experiment around and find out the best combination. If you drill the holes pretty close to that 695, then this is going to be ballpark. But you can fine tune it with shims. You can make shims out almost anything, even beer cans. But again, it seems like 15 thousandths is about the most you need to do. So let's put this in the vise and give it a try. Okay, I'll give you a peek of what it looks like in the vise. It's pretty simple. You just clamp it in there. It doesn't even have to be very tight. All right, again, this is mostly for straightening out the coils of stainless steel brake line, but you can actually use it to straighten tubing. I've got one here that's, you can't make new tubing out of old, but you can see that's pretty crooked. So what you do is you stick it through here, rotate it as you draw it back and forth, and pretty quick, you've got a pretty straight piece of metal. Well, I hope this helps. You can also set this up with a shim stack for a 1/4 inch brake line. I can't go any bigger than that until I find some bigger rollers, but this works good for 3/16 and 1/4. I've got a drawing, a CAD drawing that I'm going to attach with this video that will give you the dimensions of those shims, but you can just trial and error. You generally want this to exhibit moderate resistance when you push the wire, the tube through there, but if you get the rollers too close together, then you'll be curling this every time you push it through, and eventually it'll work harden the steel. So anyway, good luck with that. Hope it works.